Mr. President, as we enter the holidays this year and experience the typical sights and the sounds of the season, perhaps it's the annual trip to buy a Christmas tree, perhaps in western North Carolina if you're from the region. You know, for some, it's the solemn lighting of each candle on a menorah. Often it's the joyous family gathering and the giving of gifts and the making of lifelong memories. But for the 130 hostages still being held by terrorists in Gaza, the holiday season is one of pain and isolation. For their families, this holiday season is filled with pain and uncertainty. Mr. President, this week I met again with some of the families of both recently released hostages and the families of those that are still being held. Their heartache is something that no person should ever have to face. When you compare the joy of the holidays with the pain of their situation, you can't help but feel an overwhelming sense of both anger and sadness, but also a sense of resolve. What if this was my loved ones? What if this was yours? Each and every one of these families deserves for their loved ones to be released immediately and unconditionally. Rest assured, all levels of the United States government are working with their allies and partners to get these hostages home and to get them home safely. But until that happens, there's still something that all of us can do. And you don't have to be an elected official to send prayers of comfort for these families. You don't have to be here on the Senate floor to speak out on their behalf and to call for their release. And you don't have to be politically active to commit yourself to not forget these men and women, especially during this season. You know, Deuteronomy 31:6 tells us, and I quote, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you, and he will never leave you nor forsake you." Mr. President, I want every one of these family members to know that our country is behind them, and that we support them, and that we are praying for them. I yield the floor.